Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Walkstars and I'm back once again with another kind of behind the scenes video, kind of follow-up video to a stream that I did a couple weeks ago. And that was where I built my very first gunpla figure, which is sitting on my desk right now, and we're going to get photos of it in just a little bit. I wanted to come on and make this video to have a conversation about what I thought of the process, what I thought of the build, the fun that was with it, and just sort of my overall thoughts on the matter. But before we get into the video, if you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if you really like what I'm doing here, you can always check out my streams when I go live over on Twitch, and hopefully soon here as well. So I've always been really into giant robots and anime and cool big things, but I've always kind of been in the periphery of Gundam specifically. But I finally caved and I bought my very first ever gunpla kit. It was a high grade, and it was the ZGMF X10A Freedom Gundam, or the main character's Gundam from Gundam Seed, which was the show that I grew up watching. It happened to be on Bionics on YTV. Whenever I would go to a friend's house, we would watch Inuyasha, and then Gundam Seed was always on right after it. So that was the first Gundam that I ever saw, first series I ever saw. I know some people got really into Gundam Wing, some people got really into the original Gundam. Seed was my jam, even though I never really got to see the whole series. I don't really know the story because, well, we were kids and we didn't really... I wasn't able to follow the story because I didn't have the channel at home, so I had to watch it at a friend's place always, because anime, when all you have is bunny ears, is a very hard thing to get. If you don't know what bunny ears are, they're basically an antenna. Used to be an antenna you put on your TV to get analog signals. You'd get maybe a dozen channels or so. But anyway, point is, I'm not super into the hobby yet. So this entire perspective is coming from somebody who had never done anything like this before. I'm not huge into model building. I'm not huge into miniatures. Total noob. So if I can do this with my big hands, frying pan hands, you can do it too. It took a lot longer than I expected to build, but I did do most of the build over on a stream on Twitch, which you can check out down in the description, as there's a link to that VOD down there if it's something that you want to watch. Now, I have a lot of really great things to say about the kit. Honestly, the whole process from start to finish was really fun. It was really intuitive. It was really interesting and really cool the way everything snapped together. The engineering process on these kits it's really impressive. Honestly, it's really cool. It was also very deceptively complicated. Honestly, you could take a drink every single time I said the words fiddly bits, and you might just forget how to walk for a long time, because of just how many small tiny pieces there were with the kit. Let me show you an example. So here is the Gundam that I built. As you can see, he's not huge, but it's not big either. This little piece right here, this crown, this front piece, keeps coming off still. And it was the fiddliest, littlest bit. Even the little red piece is its own piece. I was amazed, frankly shocked, at the amount of intricacies that went into this little build. The articulation was also a major surprise. These are double hinge knee joints. You can't really see that, but these hinges here, these joints are double jointed. So are the elbows. And the ball joints here, the head can swivel a bit. The articulation was pretty impressive. I've got a whole bunch of poses, which I'm going to show here right now. And you can see, you can get a lot of cool poses out of this thing if you just are a little patient and you give yourself the chance to get creative with it. Now, having it on my desk though has been a real treat. In fact, it looks like it fits right into my setup here. And once I get some new lights around here, I'll post a picture of my setup so you can sort of see what I'm working with. But it fits right in with the aesthetic, and it looks like it's been here for a long time, even though it's only been a couple of weeks. And it kind of fills a perfect hole on my desk where it can live now forever, and I have to struggle not to play with it all of the time when I'm sitting here trying to do things that I should be doing. Now, like I said, it wasn't all gumdrops and rainbows. There's a couple of things about this sort of thing and this kit and this process that I'm not 100% about. Like I said before, if you took a drink every single time I said the words fiddly bits, you might die, just because of how many small pieces there were in this kit and how many tiny pieces that went into this kit. As I said, that front crown took the head itself probably took about 20 minutes to put together, just because of how tiny the pieces were. Fortunately, if you're going to build a kit like this, it'd be handy to have a set of tweezers on hand, even if they're needle nose tweezers, to help with those sorts of things. If your hands are too big, like mine. I have very big hands, as I've said. Speaking of just a few hours, don't start something like this if you don't have the free time to sit down and to do it all the way through, unless you're the type of person that is comfortable with projects being unfinished. It's the kind of thing that when you start it, it takes up a fair amount of space, so you're going to want to complete it in a relatively reasonable time frame. Unless, like I said, you're comfortable with having unfinished projects around your house or around your space. The mess can really be a lot. When I finished this project, there were little plastic bits all over my desk. So make sure that if you're going to do this, that you have, like I said, the space set aside for it. I would imagine, though, that using the box it came in, which, give me a second, I'll just grab that. I can see having your workspace be above this box as a pretty good idea in terms of catching all the plastic bits that come off of the runners as you're cutting them. But it's not the end of the world as long as you've got a dedicated space to do projects like this. Speaking of the runners and the plastic therein, I want to show you a little something that I didn't really, I should have expected, but I didn't expect to be this much of an issue. And that is all of this plastic waste. Now, you would think that something like this, such a mass marketed product, would have some kind of a solution to this. But I haven't found a single solution for dealing with all of the plastic waste that comes with building a figure like this. And it's not something that I've heard anybody talk about in my explorations of the hobby. Nobody's really talking about what to do with the plastic when you're done. Is everybody just throwing the plastic away? Because that feels like it doesn't feel good. Maybe if the runners were made of, maybe somehow the runners were made of something more degradable, biodegradable, or it was something that wasn't just throwing away plastic. And that might seem like something that is ridiculous to be thinking about, but it's just part of the hobby that I don't think anybody is addressing. If you've got some ideas on what to do with your runners, let me know, because it's kind of weighing on me a little bit. Now I'm responsible for this plastic waste. Is there a way to recycle it? Is there a way to, is it recyclable plastic? Is there a way to use it for something else? Can it be melted down? Like, what's What's the solution here? There's got to be something. Somebody's got to have come up with something in all the years that this hobby's been a thing. If not, are there just like mountains of used up runners somewhere that are just gathering dust? And the last thing was stickers. This kit didn't come with a whole lot of stickers, and that was part of the reason why I bought a high grade kit and not an SD kit or super deformed kit, because I understand they come with a lot of stickers. The stickers were so precise and so difficult to get on. And if you make a mistake with them, they're hard to get off and fix. Not to mention, they don't look as good as just segmented plastic as you would, think in a much, or you would expect, sorry, in a much more complicated, higher grade kit. But the stickers were just a challenge, and definitely required a lot of patience and a lot of following the instructions and making sure I'm doing it right and all that jazz. Overall, though, the build was fun, the figure is cool, the small parts and big hands don't always mix, the way it all fit together was incredibly satisfying. And if there's a better solution to all of the plastic waste than just throwing it away, let me know, because I would love to do something different than just throw the plastic away. That's a lot of plastic waste, and it just feels not good. It just doesn't feel good to have, and doesn't feel good to have to deal with. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of space in my life right now, so this Gundam may be the only one I purchased for quite a while, but if I had, the space, I could see myself getting more into this hobby. But for now, the ZGMF-X10A Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed will be my sole desk mascot. I'm looking at it right now because it just looks so cool and it fits so well on my desk. Something I forgot to talk about was the action stands. Bandai wants $30 per stand for something that, if you know somebody who's got a 3D printer, they can print out for you if they're kind enough to do it. Fortunately, I had a friend who had already printed some, so he was kind enough to give me one of his. Posing this figure specifically, or this kit specifically, without an action stand would be a lot more difficult because of the nature of the figure, the large size of the wings, and all that jazz. Again, if you enjoyed the show, hit the subscribe button, come back and watch Good Things Grow, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Is building Gunpla something you're into? Is it something that you might want to get into? Is it something... Yeah, let me know what you think about building Gunpla down below. Thanks again. My name is Walkstars. Drink some water, and have yourself a great day.